The person Princess Leonor cries over. The chamber is silent before the applause begins. Red velvet, gilded balconies, the weight of centuries pressing gently against polished wood and constitutional text. King Felipe VI stands upright beneath the coat of arms of Spain, not as a father in that instant but as head of state. His uniform is immaculate, his expression, measured. Across from him, Princess Leonor de Borbón y Ortiz prepares to speak. The one she can't hide. Her voice carries clearly through the Cortes Generales as she swears loyalty to the Constitution of 1978. The words are legal, precise, binding. Spain is listening. So are London, Washington, Ottawa, Canberra, Berlin, capitals that understand the quiet power of orderly succession. Continuity is not abstract here, it is embodied in visible presence. And yet, for a fraction of a second, as the oath concludes and the applause rises, her composure shifts. Not dramatically, not theatrically, but perceptibly, her gaze turns toward one man. Felipe VI. It is easy to assume that what passes between them is simply affection. A daughter's emotion, a family milestone. That assumption would miss the deeper truth. Because when an heir looks at a reigning sovereign in a constitutional monarchy, she is not merely seeing her father. She is seeing the burden she will inherit. Even those born to inherit a crown must still carry a human heart. Spain's monarchy is not ornamental. It was restored to secure democratic transition after dictatorship. Its legitimacy rests not on nostalgia, but on constitutional restraint. Every gesture is calibrated, every silence deliberate. Felipe VI has spent a decade reinforcing that restraint. After abdication reshaped the institution, he narrowed the perimeter. Transparency, financial clarity, public discipline. Germany's press described it as structural consolidation. In the United Kingdom, analysts recognize the strategy immediately, the quiet fortification of an ancient office through modern accountability. Leonor has grown up inside that recalibration. Her tears, when they appear, are not uncontrolled. They emerge at moments of transfer. Departure for military training, farewell before academic exile in Wales. Ceremonies in Asturias, where regional identity and national unity converge beneath her title. National identity is woven into these rituals. In Oviedo, during the Princess of Asturias Awards, applause does not simply celebrate a young woman. It affirms continuity. It signals to Spain, and to its allies, that the line of succession is stable. Canada and Australia, themselves constitutional monarchies within the Commonwealth, read such symbolism fluently. The United States, though a republic, values predictable institutions across the Atlantic. Stability is strategic, but stability requires sacrifice. At 2 minutes into this unfolding story, the question sharpens. When she cries, is it for a person, or for the life that person represents? Because Felipe VI is more than her father. He is the living embodiment of constitutional survival. The phrase does not suggest secrecy. It suggests inevitability. Watch closely at military ceremonies in Zaragoza. The heir stands at attention in cadet uniform, shoulders squared beneath insignia she has not yet earned in full. The king observes from a measured distance. Their interaction is brief. A nod, a glance, an almost imperceptible softening of the eyes. In that glance lies an unspoken transfer. This is the living thread of continuity. Spain's armed forces swear loyalty to the Constitution through the crown. The heir must be seen within that framework. Not as spectacle, but as assurance. Germany notes the optics of discipline. Washington notes alignment within NATO structures. London recognizes the choreography of preparing a future commander-in-chief within constitutional limits. And within that choreography, a daughter watches her father, not for comfort, but for instruction. 5 minutes pass, and the image returns. Because what moves her is not romance, not rebellion, not scandal. It is the knowledge that one day the applause directed at him will fall upon her. The deference, the scrutiny, the isolation at the apex of the state. Even those born to inherit a crown must still carry a human heart. At 8 minutes, a deeper tension surfaces, one rarely spoken aloud. Spain's monarchy must remain neutral amid regional complexity. Catalonia, the Basque country, historic memory, political polarization. The crown cannot afford visible preference. Emotion must be disciplined. So when a tear appears at a farewell, as she departs for structured military training, leaving the relative shelter of civilian life, it is not weakness. It is controlled exposure. Enough humanity to reassure, never enough to destabilize. Continuity is not abstract here, it is embodied in visible presence. There is something unresolved in these moments. A silence between father and daughter that cameras capture but cannot decode. Does he see in her the same apprehension he once felt? Does she measure herself against the steadiness he has fought to project? The mystery remains deliberately unspoken. At 10 minutes, the stakes widen. Europe is navigating generational recalibration. Trust in institutions fluctuates. Monarchies that survive do so by embodying stability without stagnation. Spain's crown must appear modern without becoming political. Felipe VI has achieved that balance through restraint. Leonor must sustain it through visibility. Here lies the approaching strain. An heir trained in transparency will inherit an era less forgiving of inherited privilege. Social media compresses nuance. Symbolism is dissected instantly in Washington and Berlin alike. In London, comparisons are inevitable. In Ottawa and Canberra, debates over monarchy's relevance persist quietly but persistently. Leonor's credibility will not be assumed. It will be tested, and when she looks at her father during moments of public emotion, she is not only seeing love. She is seeing precedent. At 14 minutes, the realization settles with finality. There is no rehearsal for sovereignty beyond this. No private trial run. The oath has been sworn. The uniform has been worn. The Constitution has been publicly embraced. The point of no return is awareness. She understands that the cost of this life is cumulative. Personal preference yields to protocol. Privacy narrows. Friendships filter through security clearance and public optics. And yet, she does not step back. Even those born to inherit a crown must still carry a human heart. At 19 minutes, a future tension flickers on the horizon. Spain's monarchy depends on public consent renewed with each generation. Economic strain, regional identity debates, and broader European uncertainty create an environment where symbolism must work harder. If trust erodes, the crown cannot legislate its survival. It can only embody steadiness. Leonor represents that embodiment. The United States will watch for continuity within a key NATO ally. The United Kingdom will observe generational symmetry. Canada and Australia will measure how relevance is preserved. Germany will analyze institutional discipline. Every capital understands that constitutional monarchy survives through performance of stability. And stability is personal before it becomes political. Felipe VI stands as both father and framework. The man who absorbed institutional shock so that his daughter might inherit recalibrated legitimacy. The sovereign who models restraint. Because he knows she will be judged against it. When she cries, she is not escaping the institution. She is acknowledging its gravity. She knows that one day she will stand where he stands, beneath the coat of arms, before the Cortes, before the world. She will watch a younger figure approach the microphone. She will feel the same invisible transfer of burden. Continuity will move again. This is the living thread of continuity. National identity is woven into these rituals. And within those rituals, humanity remains carefully visible. In the final measure, the person Princess Leonor cries over is not merely her father. It is the sovereign who represents the life she cannot decline. The office that has shaped her since birth. The steady presence that reminds her what endurance requires. Even those born to inherit a crown must still carry a human heart. The applause fades. The uniforms change with the seasons. The Constitution remains. And somewhere between ceremony and solitude, between national anthem and private silence, a future queen continues learning how to balance steel and sentiment. The next chapter has not yet been written. But the gaze between father and daughter already